thought I would try something a little different. This is not a music or entertainment type video, so if that's what you're expecting, you might as well just move on right now. This is more for all the guitar players, and it's more of a fretboard plotting type of thing. I'm going to ramble a little bit before I actually get into it. I used to do a lot of teaching in the 90s, and I was kind of conflicted when I did it because I learned to play in a very sort of informal way. For the first 12 years that I played, like the majority of players, it was just, taking stuff off of records and learning things off of other players face to face, and just kind of piecing it together as you went. And then I learned that way for like the first 12 years. And eventually I felt like I kind of hit a wall that way. So I decided to go and get some formal training. And that's when I went to college and studied music, learned to read, studied theory, harmony, all that. And it helped a lot. Absolutely helped a lot. But even though I went and I learned all that stuff, I still tend to approach guitar the way I originally learned, which was more by ear and by fretboard visualization. So when I started teaching, I wanted to try to get that across to students. I was really kind of obsessed with that. I was fortunate to have started playing really young, when your brain is still forming and it's still nice and soft and absorbent and everything. And the primary way I learned was taking stuff off records. And I was fortunate in that I had a pretty good ear to start with, and through taking stuff off records, the more I did that, the easier it got, the more encouraged I became to keep doing it. The more I did it, the easier it got, the more encouraged I became, and so on and so on. So since I was so young when I started doing it, I kind of, and again, this is the way I see it, I kind of developed this coordination between my hands and the fretboard and my ears, to where I could kind of hear it in my head, see it on the fretboard, go and get it. And it's really important to know where the notes are, obviously, when you're playing at any level. But, particularly if you want to improvise, solo, that kind of thing, and you want to kind of be free to play whatever you're hearing in your head, it's crucial that you know the neck. And know it, takes a long time, but know it to where it's beyond thinking about it, to where it's an instantaneous, like I said, you're not even thinking about it. It's like you just know where the notes are on the neck, and as you are playing stream of consciousness, you've already got it wired up between your eyes and your ears and your hands and the fretboard. That's all hardwired, and you can just not think about this stuff and just automatically do it on the fly in real time. So anyway, this is an exercise that I used to show students, and it's no fun to play, but it is helpful, I promise you, if you work on this. And it takes a while to get it up, but if you get it up and you just do it, do it once a day or a few times a week, eventually, you'll wire that connection. So anyway, all it is you just start from the absolute lowest note that you can play on the guitar, and you go all the way up to the highest note. And along the way, and again, I'm rambling here, okay, there are sort of two aspects to the guitar. You've got the 6 strings, which is more of a vertical integration, or if whatever you want to call it, and then you've got the fretboard, which is more of a horizontal thing. And you can play either way. I mean, like I can play, say, a chromatic scale in first position, 2 octaves. Now I can do that same thing, especially since I have 24 frets on this guitar. I can do that same thing just by playing along the 6th string. So this is one of the things that's confusing about learning to play the guitar, but it's also one of the things that's really advantageous about the guitar is you can get the same note in a bunch of different places. So you have options, where on a lot of other instruments you don't have options. The note only exists in one place on the instrument. So the idea is to start at the bottom, and the first few notes is the only place you can get those notes. They don't exist anywhere. And then as you climb and play the notes, you play whichever note you're playing, you find it in every available location as you go. So I'm going to be kind of using first position as my launch point, and then as I play up in first position, I'm going to locate the notes everywhere else I can find them. And it'll be, like I said, the first few notes, first 5 are only going to be available on the 6th string. The last 5 are only going to be available on the 6th string up at the top of the neck. And along the way, they're going to be available anywhere from 2 places to up to 5 places, or since I got a 24 fret guitar here, there's 1 note that I can get on all 6 strings. So anyway, it's like this. You start on the bottom, you do those first 5. Now you go to the 5th string, and now the notes are available in 2 places. I go to the 4th string, and they're available in 3 places. That brings me to the, 3rd string. Now they're going to be available in 4 places. Takes me up to the 2nd string. Now they're going to be available in 5 places. Now I'm up to the 1st string. And this high E, since I have a 24 fret guitar here, I'm going to be able to get it in 6 places on each string. At this point, I've played every string that's available, every note that's available on the 6th string. So I'm going to continue up, go to F, and since I've played everything on the 6th string, the 6th string is now out of the equation. Okay, so now you've got F, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, G, 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 G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, G sharp, A, 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 A. Now I've exhausted all the notes on the 5th string. So now we're down to the top 4 strings. At this point, I'm just gonna, I left off here. I'm gonna sort of use the 1st string as a reference and locate the notes on the other strings as I go. So here's A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, let's try that again, D. Now I've played all the notes on the 4th string, so I'm down to the top 3 strings. D sharp, we're back to 3 places. Sorry. Haven't done this in a while. E, F, F sharp. Geez, F sharp. There it is. G. Now I've played all the notes on the 3rd string, so I'm down to the top 2 strings. G sharp. A. A sharp. B. Now I'm done on the 2nd string, so that just leaves those last 5 notes that I mentioned before. So you've played every note on the fretboard there from the lowest to the highest, and as you played through them from low to high, you played them in every available location. So the next thing would be to try to work your way back down. So I'm not going to talk so much, I'm just going to try and go through this. Those 5 are just there on the 1st string. Then three strings. Now the 4th string comes into it. And now the 5th string comes into it. Sorry, F, E. One more time. Sorry. Now the 6th string is into it. Now at this point, as we were going up, you went from playing on all 6 strings to playing on the first 5, the first 4, the first 3, the first 2, and then just the first one. On the way down, it'll be the reverse. You'll play starting on the 1st string, and then you'll go to the top 2, the top 3, the top 4, the top 5, and eventually all 6. So I've played all the notes on the 1st string, so the 1st string is out of the picture at this point. Last note I played was E. So now we go down to E flat on the 2nd string, and they're still available in 5 places. Okay, so there it is. Again, it's no fun at all, but has really nothing to do with music. But as far as being able to play music on your instrument, it has everything to do with that. So if you made it to the end of this, you can respond by telling me who was the lead guitarist in Spinal Tap, and then I'll know you watched the whole thing. Anyway, I hope this helped. I promise you it will help if you put the time in to do it. And what else do you have to do right now? Right? So, okay, that's it. And now I'm going to ask you all to please get out of my house. Thank you. Bye-bye.